Welcome to Voices of MCU, where we delve into the depths of wisdom and spirituality. Get ready as we embark on a journey of fostering faith and cultivating leaders. And now it's time for Leadership Unleashed with Dr. John Ughulu, where purpose, faith, and leadership meet.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am truly excited to share something that is close to my heart. It is the power of leveraging data for decision making. In this world of constant information, we often feel overwhelmed by the sheer amount of data that surrounds us, whether it's from our phones, social media, or work. But how do we make decisions that truly matter? How do we use this data to guide our choices and shape our futures? Today, we will talk about how to leverage data in a way that not only leads to success, but also aligns with wisdom, integrity, and a purpose greater than ourselves. And to guide us along this journey, we will look at some powerful stories from the Bible. We would learn from great leaders of the past and even draw inspiration from the animal kingdom. Yes, I'm talking about the wisdom of lions and eagles. These are animals known for their strength, wisdom, and vision. We will discover how these creatures, like the great leaders of history, knew how to use the data they had to make decisions that would lead to victory. So let's dive in and learn how to make decisions that matter. First, I would like to remind us that we live in a time where we have more data than ever before. Every click, every post, every transaction is creating data. The question now is, what do we do with it? How do we turn this data into wisdom? In the Bible, we are encouraged to seek wisdom in all our decisions. And the book of Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 7 tells us, it says, the beginning of wisdom is this: get wisdom. Though it cost all you have, get understanding. Now, what does this mean for us today? It means that in all our decision making, wisdom is the key. But how do we gain wisdom in a world full of data? Just as we use data to make informed decisions in business, in relationships, or in life, we must also seek guidance. And this is where our faith and values come into play. Wisdom comes not only from the data we gather, but from understanding how that data fits into a bigger picture. Secondly, let's look at the story of Joseph from the Bible. The Bible makes us understand that he was a master of data driven decision making. Let's start by looking at his story from the book of Genesis. Now, this is a powerful example of how to use data for wise decision making. Joseph was a young man, and as a young man, he was sold into slavery by his brothers. Yet he rose to become the second most powerful man in Egypt. The question now is, how did he do it? Through wisdom and the careful use of data. In Genesis chapter 41, Pharaoh, king of Egypt, had troubling dreams. He saw 7 fat cows being eaten by 7 skinny cows, and 7 healthy grains being consumed by 7 withered grains. Pharaoh didn't understand the meaning of this dream, but Joseph, through God's guidance, was able to interpret them for Pharaoh. He saw beyond the surface. He understood that these dreams weren't just random, they were data points pointing to something very big, something bigger. They foretold 7 years of plenty, followed by 7 years of famine. Joseph didn't just stop at interpreting dreams, he used the data to come up with a strategy. In Genesis chapter 41, verses 47 to 49, it says, during the 7 years of abundance, the land produced plentifully. Joseph collected all the food produced in those 7 years and stored it in cities. Joseph saw the patterns in the data and made proactive decisions, saving Egypt from disaster. Joseph's story shows us that we too can take data, whether it's trends in our business, shifts in our economy, or even personal habits, and make decisions that prepare us for the future. Joseph didn't just react to the famine when it came, he acted before it arrived. He planned ahead. This is the power of leveraging data for decision making, not just reacting to what is happening now, but looking at the bigger picture and making decisions that will benefit us long term. Now, let's also look into some other biblical wisdom, ways we can seek God's guidance in decision making. And as much as Joseph's story is about interpreting data and making decisions, it's also about seeking God's guidance. We see this in the story of Solomon, who was known for his wisdom. In 1 Kings chapter 3 verse 9, Solomon prayed, and it says, "Give your servant a discerning heart to govern your people and to distinguish between right and wrong." Solomon recognized that he needed more than just human knowledge, he needed divine wisdom. Now, this teaches us that while data is important, we must also ask God's wisdom to interpret it rightly. In the book of James, chapter 1, verse 5, we are promised, and it says, "If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives to all liberally and without reproach." So, when making important decisions, let's remember to seek wisdom beyond what we see on the surface, to ask for divine clarity that guides us towards what is best. And let's also remember that it is possible to learn from the lion. And what can we learn from lions? We can learn about strength, courage, and strategic thinking. Now let's shift gears a little and draw inspiration from this. Lions are they are known as kings of the jungle, not just because of their strength, but because of their ability to make strategic decisions. A lion knows when to pounce and when to wait. It's about using its strength wisely. When a lion hunts, it doesn't just run after every animal it sees. No, it watches, it waits, it observes. The lion looks for the weak, the slow, the vulnerable. Now, this is an example of how we too must be wise in how we use the data we have. Just like the lion, we should observe and reflect, not just rush into decision impulsively. In the same way, we can apply this idea to our own decision making We don't always have to react immediately. Sometimes the best decision comes when we take time to gather all the data. Sometimes it comes when we take time to reflect. Lions teach us that strength comes not only from power, but from patience, observation, and strategic thinking. Let's also look into the eagle's vision and clarity in decision making. Another creature that is known for its wisdom and precision is the eagle. We all know that eagles are famous for their incredible vision. They can see a small rabbit from miles away, and when they spot their target, they don't hesitate. They dive down with precision and speed. In the Bible, in Isaiah chapter 40, verse 31, it says, "But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint." The eagle symbolizes vision, clarity, and focus. It's a reminder to us that just like the eagle, we must have a clear vision when making decisions. When we have a clear sense of purpose, we can see the opportunities ahead, even when others may miss them. The eagle's ability to see clearly is a great lesson for us. In our decision making, we need to make sure we have the right perspective. We need to zoom out, see the bigger picture, and not just the immediate situation. And by leveraging data, but also having a clear vision, we can make decisions that will lead to success and fulfillment. Let's also look into the wisdom of great leaders, non biblical leaders. And let's take a moment to reflect on the wisdom of a great leader who was once known as Winston Churchill. Winston Churchill once led Britain through World War II. Churchill understood the value of data, but also knew that leadership required courage and vision. Now, during the war, Churchill was presented with endless reports. He was also presented with data and intelligence from all over the world. But it was his ability to take that data and inspire his people with a vision of hope and victory that made him stand out. One of his most famous speeches was, "Never in the field of human conflict was so much owed by so many to so few." He didn't just rely on data for war. He inspired the people with courage, vision, and determination. Churchill teaches us that data alone cannot lead us to victory. It's our courage, our vision, and faith that shape the decisions we make. We must take what we know, act with conviction, and trust that the decisions we make will lead us to a brighter future. Now, as I wrap up for today's episode, I want you to remember this. The data we have is powerful, but how we use it is even more important. Like Joseph, we must interpret the data wisely. Like Solomon, we must seek divine guidance. Like lions, we must be strategic and patient. And like eagles, we must have clarity of vision. You have within you the power to make decisions that will change your life. So, this moment, I urge you to take that data you have, seek wisdom, trust in your vision, and make decisions that will lead you to victory. Thank you for joining me today. Remember, the journey of decision making is not just about what you know, but how you use what you know to create the better future for yourself and those around you. Keep soaring high. Thank you, and God bless you.
If you would like to become a sponsor of Voices of MCU, please go to the description, find the link, and connect with us.